Well, hello everybody. My name is Kaadzik and this is Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers 2, closing off the Chip and Dale block after Andy. Well, this is a sequel of the game you've seen before. There are some changes. The biggest one is an estimate because the game is much longer than the previous one. I'm not that well derusted, so I hope I will not fail that much, but we'll see how it goes. I will obviously choose Chip because Chip is the best chipmunk in the world, obviously. So, who would play as Dale? Like, literally, who would play as Dale? So, the timer starts when the first cutscene is skipped, so I hope you're good on that with the timer, because I probably won't count it down, because it randomly just stops, and I will spam as fast as possible. So, if you are late on time, it doesn't matter. We'll sit here for a while. I will hit Chip, and as the face comes in, there's time right now. So, this is Chip and Dale 2 Rescue Rangers. And this is the first stage, the kitchen. You can see that I tried to avoid as much RR tokens as possible. And I can do this well enough, because the RR tokens at the end are counted, and, well, every token wastes frames, and we don't want to waste frames. This damage boost wasn't intended, but I have enough health to complete this level normally. We do one damage boost at the end of this particular part of the stage, right here, in order to miss all of the RR tokens, because we don't need them. And this is the third part, the last one, just before the boss. The biggest change between the Chip and Dale 1 and 2 is that the bosses aren't killed by the big red ball as they are in Chip and Dale 1. Basically, two of the bosses have to be killed with the boxes that games provides you, and the other ones have to be killed by the ammo they give you. So, oh, I paused the game unfortunately. So RNG comes in hand quite much in this game. That's why it's not that popular in speedruns, because it's heavily RNG based, as you may see here. This rabbit is RNG. These boxes are RNG. Also, you can see that I try to manipulate these boxes so that they are powered up. You can see they wiggle and they shine when I try to throw them. It's actually a power shot, and if I load the box for, let's say, 20 frames or something, I do it, and it hits the boss, and it deals double damage. So instead of me using 6 hits to kill the boss, I kill him only in 3. The big part of the skip is you have to move only in one direction in order to load the box up, and there is a frame perfect trick that if you turn at the exact frame, also intended damage boost, if you turn at the exact frame as you've moved previously, you won't lose the boost. So if you are good enough, like I am, and you can do a couple of frame perfect inputs in a row, you can just walk around without doing much, and you can throw boxes not only in one direction, but also you can just turn around and wiggle instead of just holding down one direction. Also, this is the easiest boss for speedrunners, because it's the only boss without any RNG whatsoever, but I think it's one of the hardest bosses for the casual players, because there is a wind mechanic, as you may see, but if you know how to avoid it, it's pretty easy to handle. So again, this boss takes 6 damage. This is also something different from Chip and Dale 1, because in Chip and Dale 1 you have to kill all bosses with 5 hits, and in Chip and Dale 2, every boss, let's say, scales how much damage they take, because first 3 bosses take 6, next one takes 7, next 3 bosses take 8 damage, and the last one takes 10, so the boss fights get longer and longer. Also, this is a really hard damage boost. I didn't get it. I should have damage boosted from the butterfly over there, but I still got the spikes damage boost, let's say. So this stage, I said most of the bosses are RNG heavy. The second one doesn't have any RNG whatsoever. The third one, which is this, is the only boss that we can manipulate, and this is quite huge. And also this boss fight is quite hard, and I do risky strats during the boss fight, so we'll see how it goes, basically. And 2 health should be enough. I could heal because there is a hidden acorn in one of the boxes, but I feel that I have enough power and I will go YOLO because that's the true way of playing games. These platforms are quite short, so you don't have that much space to power up the box, but with the strat I used with turning frame perfectly, it doesn't affect me that much. So if I throw the third box, it should be enough. It is, thank God. For me, it's one of the hardest bosses in the game, hands down. And the fourth stage, which is also great, because this is the only stage in the entire game that doesn't have a boss fight at the end. It's just a timed stage. That's why every speedrunner loves it, because, well, you don't have RNG because you don't have a boss, and... Oh, you can also fail the jump. I can do the normal jump, which requires you to press jump button one more time, or you can do YOLO jump, as I did right now, because, as I said, we have enough estimate to do YOLO strats on the marathon, right? Though I waited there just a little bit to perform the jump and let you see how it actually works. So yeah, this is timed stage, which is good, because, you know, in-game timers and speedrunners come together, right? So the fastest way you can complete this stage is 2:32 on the clock. I got 2:31, so it's awesome. I failed some jumps, but it still counts, right? So we've completed all of the fine levels, because the first one is okay-ish. Next two are fine, but this level on the other hand, oh boy, we all hate this level, and particularly this boss, because this boss, the ghost boss, is the most RNG heavy boss in the entire game. He, instead of all bosses, I think, and maybe the last one. The last boss is other thing, but this is the only non-final boss in the game that has 2 attacks instead of 1. He can either throw lightnings at you, which wastes your time, because you cannot do anything, or he can throw rocks at you that you can throw back at him. So hopefully we will see more rocks than lightning bolts, because if we see lightning bolts, we lose time, but fortunately we see rocks right now. As I said, the difficulty scales, so this boss takes 7 hits, and we cannot double hit like on the previous 2, so yeah, we can only power up our attacks with the boxes, but there are no bosses that require you to hit them with boxes. This is the lightning attack that loses you time. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you won't see it ever again in this marathon. Also, as you can see, there is a nifty safe spot at the end of this rug. If I stay here, I don't take damage from any of the rocks that is thrown, no matter what cycle is that. And not many speedrunners use it, so that's weird for me. So yeah, this is the safe spot. Use it. From now on, please. Also, as you may have seen, the category that I'm playing is not any percent. It's any percent one player, because I don't have friends. And the actual reason is because if you play 1 player 2 controllers, which is called any percent, it's actually faster. Because you can throw the other player as a projectile, and you can also load him up as you would with the box. So you can deal double damage, using another player as a bullet. So instead of waiting for every boss to give you ammo, you can just kill them instantly, and that's why it's way faster to do it. Unfortunately, we have to play solo this time, so we have to wait for the bosses to be well for us, but obviously they are not for the time being. There's also a low chance that during the slow cycle, as you can see here, oh, it's already over, cool. Bye bye boss, never see you again. There is a possibility that you can throw rocks at him 2 times instead of one per cycle. Also, unskippable cutscenes, we love them in the gaming, right? You can sometimes throw 2 rocks instead of 1 during 1 cycle, because every cycle he throws 2 rocks, but one of them despawns, right? Which is weird. The thing in this game is, every time there is a projectile on the screen, you can have only one of them spawned. So if the game detects that one of them is still on the screen, the second one despawns immediately instead of dropping down for you to pick it up. So the thing you do is you throw the rock so fast during the best slow cycle possible. Also damage boost, please. Oh, this is actually harder than it looks, but I got it fortunately. The thing is, if you throw the projectile fast enough so that it hits the boss and despawns, also this skip is also hard. Wow, I'm good at gaming. So I can almost have full health during final boss. This is not final, but the boss of the stage, so this is cool. The thing I want to say, but I keep interrupting myself. If you throw the projectile fast enough so that it despawns from the screen, so that it disappears from the screen, the second one actually spawns, so you can have two projectiles instead of one. Also, this is an ostrich riding on a unicycle. Cool, right? You can throw these gears in 3 levels of distance, let's say. Close one, middle one, and further one. And the close ones are actually the worst, because I have the least amount of time to react. The worst one is this one, which is the close one when he hits from above, because I have barely any frames to react, but I'm just that good at gaming, obviously. And also, as you can see on this boss and on a couple of the other ones as well, I abuse iframes as much as I possibly can, which is that after I hit the boss I can walk through him because he doesn't attack me. Wow, this is the first split that I'm faster from my PB. Cool. Let's skip that up. And let's hope this is sub 20, because for now it looks pretty okay. Let's see how final boss behaves. So yeah, the 3 stages that we are playing, the previous one, this one and the next one, we can do in any order because the game lets us select which order we like. Well, I don't actually care because it doesn't matter that much in running. Some runners pick the last, or not, the last stage to play first because they use a trick that I actually don't, so for me it doesn't matter. Because I may be good at some parts of gaming, I don't do crazy skips like most of the runners do. That's why I'm not first on the leaderboards. But yeah, this section is the worst section in the entire history of gaming, because if you get hit, like I did right now, just for the showing obviously, it's not like I got hit accidentally. If you get hit, you have iframes as well, and if you have iframes, you are not allowed to interact with objects, including this lever that pulls your card forward. And if you try to interact with it, and by that I mean going forward, you fall off and die. So yeah, it's not that well programmed, and it should be thought a little bit more, but yeah. This is Card Cut. He can walk around and do nothing or throw cards, which I hope happens eventually. Please, just throw cards at me. Like, that's why we love Chip and Dale too, because bosses can do random things, and I talk too much, so I got hit. If he's on the bottom side, left or right one, I can actually hit him once every cycle, but every other... Oh, I died, okay. I misstepped a little bit. If he's on the ground, I can hit him once every cycle, but if he's not on the ground, I cannot do this because he throws cards at the weird pattern. And that doesn't allow me to hit him every cycle, and I have to do it once every 2 or 3 cycles. Why am I standing in the wrong place? I'm choking a little bit on this guy. Hope we can finish him before I run out of lives. Oh, what a dodge. He's better than me, he dodges stuff. This is the loop I was talking about, but we have to throw the first card pretty quickly in order for the second one not to despawn like sometimes it does. But we got through, so we have 2 bosses remaining. The timing is not that great, but it still goes. So yeah, this is the pre-last section of the game. You can see that I've picked up the box, because for the, I think, first time in the entire game we are killing an enemy that's not a boss. This guy over here. We do a diagonal shot that it's not that easy in the game, actually. Trust me. So that we kill him from below, because if we go up near him, he will start throwing sparks out of himself, being electrocuted, I don't actually know. And because of that, he will despawn every projectile you throw at him. So you have to either wait for him to stop and kill him, or damage boost. So we would normally damage boost, but we save lives, so yeah. Also, we are coming to the really weird boss, because this boss is actually on the cover of the game, and I think this is supposed to be the last boss, because it's pretty well detailed. Let's just look at it, he has so many details. Because of that, they had to remove the background, obviously. But they made him not the final boss because, well, not fighting Fat Cat as a final boss is quite anticlimactic, so yeah. They moved him to the theme park section, let's say. And the thing with this boss is, it's the only boss in the entire game that doesn't despawn after you kill him. Because all of the bosses despawn, he just sits there and waves a white flag. So in my splits, he's called French Grimacing Gecko, because Grimacing Gecko is his name, and French because he's the only guy that uses a white flag as a surrender instead of just dying, you know. For now, he gives me pretty okay cycles. I misstepped that a little bit. Also, yeah, the white flag coming, so we've killed the boss. The hard part of this boss fight is that the wrecking ball that you could see on the screen, well, it blocks projectiles, so that's why I had to shoot him diagonally instead of using normal shots. So that may have looked weird, but this is the reason. So this is the last stage. I've missed the lever, so I have to do a safety shot here. If I don't hit the lever, these platforms move in the opposite direction, slowing me down instead of boosting me up. And this is the final stage of the game. It has so many levels that it's really complicated. This is the hardest screen of the game, so bear with me on that. Getting hit twice is okay, because I get healed at the end of it. The hardest part is over, just don't die, and we should be fine. Okay, we are fine. So, hardest screen of the game completed. Right now it can be only better. But we get healed, yay! We have enough health. You know what we'll do with enough health? We're gonna damage boost again and lose all of it. Because we have to wait for these lasers or just skip them, because who needs waiting in speedruns? And with 1 health we go into second hardest boss, second hardest stage in the entire game. Or that stage, just screen. Which is this one with balls. With those green balls that behave kinda randomly and sometimes bounce unpredictably, but fortunately the patterns are easy to remember if you play the game too much like I do. Also you can see that these RR tokens spell something. It's obviously DANGER, which is the German guy called Dan. So shoutouts to Dan from Germany. And this is the final boss. He has so many sprites they removed the background and the floor. Yay. This is the final boss, this is the Robo Fat Cat. Surprise, we don't play versus Fat Cat, we play versus the Robo copy of it. So yay. He's annoying, he's a jerk, because if he goes up and goes down. If he goes down on the right side of the screen, he attacks us and wastes us more time. If he goes on any other side of the screen, well, he doesn't do anything, so it's good for us. But as you can see, he's on the right side, obviously, and he attacks us. He has 3 sets of attacks. He can throw a wrecking ball from his left hand, he can throw his right hand from the right hand, obviously, and he also can use an electric tail to shock us. I think I threw it too late, yeah. These bombs are on a timer, which is weird, because throwing them on Fat Cat is actually quite hard, and timing it properly is even harder. And timing it properly when he attacks you is the hardest thing in the game. That's why I've healed up. Whoa, that was a nice dodge. Like, whoa, that was really close. That's why I heal up on the previous screen. Because sometimes it's just so hard to avoid things. Well, the good part is, even if he attacks me, he sometimes gives us one for free and just lands on his own bomb. As I mentioned, he has to take 10 hits in order to die. And this boss fight is really hard, I have to agree with you. Fortunately, if you are prepared well, like I am right now, don't mind the one hit that I've missed, you know the setups that allow you to time everything correctly. Or sometimes he can land not on the right side and still get free damage boost, because this bomb is in his range and still blows up and destroys him. Right now we are at 5 hits, as you could see. There was some lag and blowing up. He threw some screws away. Oh, another free hit. That's hog, really. Right now, every time he lands, he throws a little bits of fire, and that lags the game heavily and screws up the timer of the bomb that we're supposed to throw at him, which is great because, well, timings are hard. Now they are even harder because of the lag. And it lags on NES, on emulator, on every single version of the game. We are at 8 hits, I believe, and if we hit 10, it's time. So we are getting really close, so be ready on time. Also, I didn't mention this throughout the entire run, because I'm talking too much, I know, but I think you like it. I hope you like it. The music in this game is just so good, like, it's so good. You have to listen to this. The soundtrack, even after the run is over, like, just go on YouTube, Google it, and listen to the soundtrack. It's not time yet, okay, I almost thought it's time, but it's not yet. After the next hit, I believe, because I don't know how to count properly. Okay, this is the last one, a free hit, so it should be time. Time! Sub 20 on the marathon! That is actually good. And wow, you were really good on timing, because I have the same amount of time on my timer as well. Sub 20 on the marathon, wow, with this game, it's actually crazy. I didn't do that well, but I'm still proud of the time. My PB is 17:15, so obviously it's not a PB, but it's really good time, thinking about how marathon runs can go. So yeah, thank you so much for having me. And one thing before we finish, because obviously there is one thing that they forgot to remove from the game. We've finished the game, we've beaten the final boss. There's one thing that we always have to do. We have to do, obviously. One thing, after the final boss is over. We have the bonus game that gives us more lives. Because we need them after the game is finished. Obviously. The bonus game is important. They forgot to remove it after the final boss. I guess they hard-coded it so that it comes up after every boss. So yeah, a bonus round. But we have possibility of having more health, so that's Hog, I guess. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed the run, and I hope you will enjoy the rest of the marathon. Right now we will have Stans coming with Darkwing Duck, so the Disney segment continues. And yeah, you can check me out on Twitch if you want. I hope you liked it. Yay. And as I said, that's it from me. GG, have fun. NES games rule. Keep up the good work. Or something. That's it from me, bye.